Yo, what's going on? What's going on? This is Alex Wilder, and we're going to talk about Veve today for a lot of reasons. It's one of those things where, like a lot of you guys, I'm sure you wish that you had kind of got in on it sooner, same as me. On my road to blue chip, I have been testing out and trying out a whole bunch of different things, a lot of different types of NFTs, a lot of different platforms, networks, all that stuff. And so then, sort of by happenstance, I stumbled onto the Veve app. Maybe it's been about a month for me. So, as you guys all kind of know, the same as myself, the Veve platform is really booming right now. It's kind of crazy how incredible and how just kind of like wild it is. I'm gonna try to not make this just like a complete Veve like 101, but just for the sake of the video, the Veve platform, it's just this nice, cool little thing where you can purchase these NFTs, but they're by way of like Marvel, by way of Disney, by way of DC. So you can get comic books, you can get actual like individual like characters like they're showing kind of up here. Some of them are animated, some of them aren't. The rarer ones are animated, so forth and so on. But all of that is to kind of say that the collectibles have their contained marketplace within the Veve app. And that's what's so enticing about it, is that the fact that everything is these really strong IPs. You have Marvel, you have Disney, you have DC, you have third parties who are kind of doing artwork for these platforms, and it's just kind of stupendous. I love it. Now, here's kind of where I'm at. I'm in the same boat as you guys in that drops, I don't really get the drops. I don't really know anybody who's really getting the drops anymore, which is why I'm like, man, it would have been nice if I had known about this app back when it was first starting. It just missed my radar for whatever, because I would have invested heavily like a lot of people have. So the people that are getting those like really like premier first edition comics, those secret rare Spider-Mans and stuff like that, they did really good. So what do? The people who are just kind of coming into Veve, how do we kind of get involved and get some things that can actually be of top tier quality in the short and the long term? Because I tell you what, I may have just found out about the app maybe a month ago, and maybe some of you guys are like me too, but there's a lot of moves and a lot of little things that you can kind of do. So I got my my Veve app, or I should say I got my phone up right now. I got my Veve app right now. So I can kind of like talk through a little bit of some of the things that I've been doing, some of the plays that I think are going to kind of pay off in the long run. Because you got to remember, when you're investing, and this is obviously not financial advice in any means, not economic advice, not an expert. I'm just an amateur trying to figure these things out. So like in my road to blue chip, which is a series that I'm trying to do, where I'm trying to slowly work my way toward owning some of these blue chip stocks, these blue chip NFTs, and these blue chip Veve collectibles. I'm trying to figure out how can I maneuver my way into these areas. So I'm looking at my collectibles in here, and I have 15 collectibles so far. Now, I think that is fantastic for being fairly new. That means I've invested a little bit of money in here, nothing crazy, but not like a small amount either. You notice that like you have to kind of put in a little bit into this, more so than say you were going to try and sell stuff at garage sales. But what would you do? You would find something for $3, sell it for $25. Find something else for $3, sell it for $25. But in the Veve app, there's not really anything for $3, not anymore. And that's what's so trippy about it, is that when they have the auctions, right? Like they had one this morning for the Alpha Flight comic book, where it was issue 1, the first issue of Alpha Flight, which is so crazy because my first introduction to Alpha Flight was in the X-Men cartoon series from the 90s, where Wolverine is like doing something and he ends up in Canada, and then he kind of gets attacked by his old crew, Alpha Flight. So that was my first introduction into the group, and I thought it was like just fun seeing other superhero teams in other locations. Now, when the drop came, obviously it's really hard to get drops. I mean, everyone claims bots, but there's just not that many edition numbers. They didn't mint very many, and there's probably close to a couple 100,000 people all trying to get it. There's no visible like line, so you're not really lining up. You're just kind of hoping for the best. It's all luck. And I know that my press, that was the first time that I pressed today where it was basically like a perfect press. The time before that, I got my wires crossed because during the blind box, my screen shifted. So where I thought the button was gonna be, I had to scroll down. So when I scrolled down, I'm sure it was too late. Didn't get the rebound. Same thing where after that happened, now I'm wary of it. So when the previous comic, the first appearance of the Red Goblin, I'm like, okay, the button might be moving up and down, but no, it was where it was supposed to be. But going through those and going through a couple other drops that I didn't get any serial killers, which I'm not really the biggest fan of, but I will definitely take a drop and try to flip those. And I didn't get any of some of the other comic book drops either, like the last Spider-Man comic, which was pretty spectacular. And I think it was, let me see if they still have it up on their site. No, they just have Alpha Flight up here. But anyways, didn't get any of the drops. So what have I been doing? And I think that this is kind of the key. So everybody always says you need to invest and look at things when that nobody else is looking at that have potential. So everybody's looking at Alpha Flight. Everybody's looking at these blue chip Spider-Man. Where else could stuff be of low price that might be set to rise? And I've had some that have started to rise. So when I first got on the app and I was like, okay, let's just see how this works. I just threw 50 gems in there just to see how does the buying work, how does the selling work. And I want to say that the first thing that I bought was a common Storm. And at the time, I have her now. No. That wasn't the first thing I bought. Because I'm looking at it, and she's a little expensive in there. But let's say it was. So the first thing I bought was, I got myself a common Storm because I wanted to get something that I knew was going to be big eventually, no matter what. X-Men is going to be huge, and you're looking at it, and she has that mohawk style, which isn't a lot of people's favorite style, but at the same time, Storm is a huge character. So kind of seeing her on the app and not seeing any other X-Men, I mean, she's basically the first X-Men to appear on the app. So I'm like, okay, I gotta get at least one Storm. So I grabbed her, and she was 47 gems. Now, the reason I grabbed her is because the list price that they had was 50. So when she dropped, and I wasn't around for the drop, she was there at 50. But apparently she depreciated in value because people were finding value elsewhere. They were selling off their Storms probably so they could get these high quality, top tier blue chip NFTs, like your Superman, your first appearance of Steamboat Willie? First appearance of Mickey, Steamboat Willie, the Founders, the Golden Moments, those coveted ones that everybody wants, like everyone is looking at that. So I'm like, I can't afford that, but I do know that Storm is gonna become valuable at some point. She just will. Like, that's what it's so crazy about this app, is that for those of us who are really into this stuff, like into comic books, into anime, manga, video games, this is like the stock market for us. So the stock market is just facts and figures, bits and pieces, and it's just a big abstraction. But this is like taking that and putting it in a marketplace that's fun and exciting. So there's a lot of potential here for us to earn simply for the fact that we are very interested in the success of the investment. So I'm like, okay, my plan is, what else can I get that's selling below the floor price? So that's kind of where I started. I grabbed Storm for 47 gems. I had, I got Frog of Thunder, which just hilarious. So it's like Thor as a frog for the Animal Avengers. Never read that comic, but I just love the character. It's just hilarious to me. But like, again, sitting below 50 gems, grab that too. And then I think I got a comic book or something like that. But my point was, I started to look for the things that were below floor price. Because if you wait around long enough, that floor price is just going to go back to where it needs to be, because more and more people keep coming to the app. And as the big top tier stuff kind of gets bought up, everybody is kind of looking to see what they can kind of get. On top of that, I threw a little bit more money in there, made sure that I got Deadpool, and I got the uncommon instead of the common, which is crazy to me because the uncommon, it's only got 13,666 editions. It's a first appearance, and people don't like it because he's wearing the ugly Christmas sweater, and I think that that's crazy because it's Deadpool. The sweater, the off like way he looks is kind of part of his charm, where he's kind of messing with people, kind of being a little bit crazy and random. That's what he does. So I went ahead and snatched one of these up, and then over time I started to get like a few more things like that. The first appearance of Reed Richards, the Marvel Mighty, I made sure to get one of him. I wanted more, but I waited too long. But I got him at about, not under floor price, but I got him at 28 gems. The list price was 13. I mean, under list price. That's what I've been meaning to say. Under list price. And now with these, so like I got them at 28 gems, but now the floor price is 40. I got Deadpool. I bought the uncommon. I got two of him, one at 60 gems. And then I bought a second one because it's Deadpool at 64 gems, and the floor price is 98. But you see what I'm saying? Like right now, because of the surge, the floor prices are just kind of being squeezed because people want to get in. They want to find their entry point, and this is a way to get in. Now, the only other like really like fun play that I've been doing is I grabbed a couple others. So I got Holiday Group like common at like 27 gems. He minted at 40. And there were like a couple weeks ago, last week, all of the common groups were underneath like half price almost. So if they listed at 40 gems and they're all selling at 20 to 27, I mean, it's just like that money's gonna recoup. And I wish I had had a little bit more, or I wish my thought process had been a little bit different back then. Because I learned from some of the guys on the app that you don't just buy one, you don't just buy, you buy. And if you're smart, you buy if you can afford it. And I know that can be a little bit pricey, but I'm gonna try not to put any more gems in anymore. Like I put my last little bit today, and I'm gonna see if I can stick to it because I wanted to buy some stuff that no one's looking at. But that kind of takes me to the last thing where I'm like, no one is looking over here. So I grabbed up as many Voltron pieces as I could stand, one from each category except for the ultra rare, which was out of my price range, and now I'm pretty sure is definitely out of my price range. So I grabbed the common at 57 gems. Now the floor is 93. I grabbed the uncommon, which shocked me at how cheap the uncommon ones, at 57, and the floor is only at 84. which is crazy, but it's huge. And these were both below the list price. They listed at 60 gems. So we already made past the list price as well. And then I got the rare at 95, and now the list price is 146.90. The floor price, I mean, is 146.90. So that one listed at 60 because, you know, they all, when the collection drops, they all have the same list price. But I mean, that's just a really good grab. Being able to kind of like snatch something up like that, like no one was buying the Voltrons. And I remember them because A, because of my age, and B, because I'm a huge like anime manga fan. This is really one of the first little anime kind of Power Ranger-y things that are on the app. And we all know like the Voltron, the lions, they come together and they form the robot. I was trying to work my way up so that I could get the ultra rare. It was at like 145. I guarantee you, it's gonna be way more than that now. So I'm probably not gonna be able to get it. Let me see if I can find out how much it is. So the way that I kind of just jump in between the types is I'll just scroll down to like the license. So go to DreamWorks, click Voltron, and then it gives me everything that's there. So for the ultra rare battle mode, right now the floor price is 400. So it basically tripled. It was about 125, maybe 140 last I was looking, and now it's at 400. Because people are starting to realize, oh, you know, here's something that no one's really grabbing. So that I think is kind of the way to go. You just gotta look where no one is looking. Right now, the lowest floor prices are the Eternals, the Marvel Mighties. I think that those are low, A, because they're Marvel Mighties, and we're thinking like adults. We're thinking like, oh, well, that's not the cool version or whatever. But like, if I was a little kid, I would love the Marvel Mighties. And B, the Eternals movie didn't do very well. That's the only Marvel movie I haven't even seen yet. Just watched Spider-Man, which was great. And that one, apparently, it's just not quite clicking with people. I'm still gonna watch it. You know, we'll watch it, me and Mrs. Wilder, we'll watch it on Disney Plus and something like that a little bit later. But there's so much upside in this. So what's so cool about Veve right now, and I think I'm gonna leave it at this before I talk about like a different topic, is that you don't really have to be that clever. You just have to be patient. So I only have one item listed. I'm listing my Throg, my Frog of Thunder, because I'm was watching the floor price kind of slowly rise. I had it at like 77 listed the other day, which was about like what, like a 15-20% profit for me. But I'm like, nah, scratch that. Let's try to double it. Minus the tax, and you got to calculate for the tax, which I didn't do, but I'm not going to go back and throw it in. But I have it listed for like 93 point something, because they're running out of collectibles. They're not dropping things fast enough, and people are just starving. They're voracious. They want to spend. They want to buy, because everybody is on the road to blue chip, whether they know it or not. They want to get those top tier collectibles. Like, I want the Superman. I want that first Steamboat Willie. I want the golden moment R2-D2. You know what I'm saying? Like, that type of stuff. It's like, you want it because it's rare, you want it because it's your favorite, and it just feels special. And there's not going to be many first appearances. Now, all that said, I love my Voltron, but I'm going to say that right now the prize of my collection, I'm not going to talk about the comic books that I have right now, because I'm still figuring that out. And that's actually where I'm looking right now. Those low cost, low list comic books, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to comics, I'm going in commons and uncommons, the cheap ones, and then I'm ordering by lowest mint number. So if you sort it like that, the low mint numbers, the ones that are like number 40, I haven't seen one below 41, I don't think. Number 100, those are expensive because the mint number is going to mean something in the app. They said so in the AMA. And with those, I'm buying one here and there, and I'm going to keep doing it until people start paying attention on comics that maybe they're popular, maybe not, but like there are quite a few low mint number comics that are underpriced because people aren't looking at the mint number like they should, and I would advise that you guys kind of do the same because those are gonna increase. I have a feeling that those are gonna increase, or not feeling, I have a theory that they are. Once the mint number actually plays a factor, some people get it. So those early mint number editions, if you have them and you're thinking about listing them, check the prices on those first before you list them, because you may have something that should be listed at 400 that you're listing at like 30, or you're listing at 16. So don't make that mistake, but definitely go purchase the ones that are low and then make the money that you need to get more gems so we can do this ride to blue chip together. But so my only other thing, the pride and joy of my collection is I was able to get a Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, which I was shocked by the fact that the prices were so low. If I had been smart, I probably would have bought 2 or 3 of them. He has Doctor Strange's cape on, so that's cool. The costume is cool. I guess people just like, oh, it's what if, it's not real Spider-Man, but yo, Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Anything you can get your hands on that Spider-Man is just gonna kind of increase. So I got it at 72, and now the floor price is 275. Think about that. And this is the Spider-Man people like the least. The least. 275. I've only had it for like maybe 3 weeks, and it's jumped up. It's tripled, more than tripled in price. And so there's only upside right now because eventually things are pumping. Everyone's coming, there's not enough inventory, and demand gets higher and higher. And as they keep onboarding 20,000 more people every like week or whatever the number is, it's gonna be harder and harder to actually own these. So right now, my plan is to get a little bit extra scratch from the Throg of Thunder, and then see what other pieces are gonna kind of go up, and then maybe you'll get to the point where the Deadpool uncommons are booming and I can sell one of those, combine those gems, and then I can start looking at the lower mid-tier range. So right now I'm grabbing lower tier stuff, but it's a stepping stone for me. I don't have like whale money where I can just put in an extra like 15K and now I can just get all the different gems and stuff like that, or all the different top tier stuff. So it's gonna be a process, it's gonna be a grind. I also wanna make sure that I have gems ready to go for when they dip, because there's gonna be a dip. And it's gonna feel like a crash, but it won't be yet, it's gonna be a dip. And then I'm gonna grab what I can. That's why information is key, man. You gotta know as much as possible. Information is speed. The more you know, the quicker you can decide and kind of make decisions. And that's what I'm hoping for all of us. So stay tuned. I'm Ilix Wilder. This is Wild with Wilder. And this is the road to blue chip. Me just here trying to figure out this whole NFT, Veve, different blockchain thing. And we'll be talking about like a whole series of videos of me trying to figure out what's gonna be the first blue chip that I can actually own and make some little bit of scratch off of. So stick around, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Oh, and like and subscribe and share, and have a toasted bagel sandwich. Peace.